Okay, let's try that again. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your one and only host,
the Kosmic Jedi.
Welcome back to my channel. This is my second attempt recording this freaking intro. I had messed up on me earlier on because I clicked the button too late and cut off the recording. It has been a while since I last did a movie review on this channel. Without further ado, today's movie is called Defending Your Life. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movie. There's a clip I found on TikTok that I want to talk about later. I'm thinking to do it now, but I want to do it later. And this review might include some spoilers, but I won't spoil the whole movie. I won't spoil major parts, but just little Easter eggs that I feel you guys might find interesting. And again, I encourage you guys to check it out. It's not action. It's not bending bullets. It's not dodging bullets, although I love those kind of movies. It's not time travel. I love those kind of movies as well. It is something else. When I saw the clip, which we will get to later, when I saw that on TikTok, I was like, dude, what's the name of the movie? This movie stars, give me a second, let me get his name correct. I don't want to mess his name up.
A few moments later.
Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep, and Rip Torn. And Rip Torn's role, oh my goodness. Everyone, brings their A game. I feel everyone brings their A game. Simple, straightforward, effective, yet touching, emotional. Like I did a minute review on my Instagram yesterday. I cried multiple times, and there was one part of the movie where I just bawled. And I tried to control it as well, like, yeah, it's all right, it's all right. It's just a movie. Just a movie. There's nothing wrong with tears. Next thing, whoop, I was done. So it's a very, very powerful movie. I feel it's a powerful movie anyway. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's not my usual type of movie, action, sci-fi, horror, drama, even anime, whatever it is, whatever I'm used to and familiar with, I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm shocked I didn't see it growing up, even in my teenage years. I feel I would have enjoyed it the first time, and then watching it now that I'm a lot older again, definitely appreciate it. And it's something that you can watch multiple times, maybe 2 or 3 times, because there was one scene I missed the first time I watched it, that upon watching it again to try and get the clips for you guys to see as I do a talk over, there was a symbol I noticed that looked like, I thought it was like an 8 or something, even the coloring they use in certain scenes. But when I zoomed in, I realized it was like the ancient symbol. I think it's in India. It's a very universal symbol that many cultures have used over time and still currently use in different parts of the world. And it's just the rotation of the universe, basically, the anti-clockwise symbol. But it was just, I didn't notice it the first time, nor did I even pay attention to it. So upon watching it the second time, I was like, oh, that's something I missed the first time. Even dialogue, certain words that we use, and the movie is dealing with someone who passed away. And before I move forward, let me let you guys know, I'll talk about minor spoilers, but not major spoilers for the movie. There's certain things I feel I need to mention to add more weight or substance to the movie. So I might spoil a few things, but not major story spoil. No, I won't do the major story, but because of the clips I'm going to introduce or talk about, it will include minor. You can watch the clips and still, watch the movie the same way I did on TikTok. When I saw the clip on TikTok, I didn't stop it. I kept on watching it till it was done. And it got me more intrigued watching the movie. So if you feel you want to watch it fresh, without any spoilers or without any minor spoilers, then go ahead and check it out for sure. I don't want to hold y'all up. This is one thing I miss about Hollywood today. And I know other movies are doing it, but when I say what I say, I mean the attention to detail when it came to the world, the environment, even the costume. And then there were little trams they were using to get people from point A to B back and forth. Just little things. The setting, the ambience, and then the music as well. Everyone worked together to bring this story to life. And I don't know who directed it. I didn't research that far. I don't know who wrote it. I just watched the movie just to take in the information, because it's dealing with life after death, and then the grand scheme of things, and just the way the dialogue was written. My brain just kept on, over and over thinking, these are questions I asked as a child. That's why I said I'm surprised I didn't see it when I was a teenager. I wish I had seen it when I was a teenager. And there's some questions in the movie that my son has even asked me as well. And the way it answers the questions, there were some moments where I raised an eyebrow like, yo, I don't know about that, especially as an African melanated being. I don't know. Everyone has their own viewpoint, or every culture has their own, I would say, viewpoint and experience of how the other side, life after death is. And that's one area this movie touches on as well, not only based on the scenery, but based on the dialogue. There were some scenes where after they were showing people who had passed away, I was just looking at a lot of them. I was thinking to myself, first of all, I can see a lot of older people. There's no young people here. In some scenes, I felt like there were a lot more males and females. And in other scenes, I was like, okay, where are the black folk? And then another thing I noticed is there were no younger children in certain scenes. And the character that Rip Torn plays explains why. It's the way you're asking questions as you're watching the movie, and yet the movie is answering other questions you haven't asked yourself yet, whilst it's answering the same ones you might be thinking or you might have. So I really appreciate the way and the angle and perspective they chose to display life after death, or the in-between place or space before you transition to wherever you're going to permanently, or whatever the case may be. And it didn't make it look like it's purgatory. Even certain words you would use, like religious text, to make one feel a particular way when you're trying to visualize how life after death looks like or feels like. So I really appreciate how this movie tackled it, for sure. It kept it neutral without sounding like this is only for Muslims or Christians or religious people or non-religious people. For me anyway, it felt like it was a very neutral thing. And you could add little sprinkles to it. You could see similarities where, okay, this feels like they took this from this culture or that culture. Or we also have that kind of idea or truth in our culture. The stories we're told growing up with our grandparents were told when you reach the other side, or people who have come back and reincarnated and they remember their past lives. Oh, just little things, little sprinkles like that in this movie is beautiful. And the way it touches on reincarnation, it doesn't shy away from it. It's very in your face, direct, and very informative, and it allows your brain to expand more. So I feel it's pulled from different sources, and it's found a way to just keep it grounded and balanced, that anyone from different aspects of different cultural backgrounds who may not have had grand discussions or may not have had informative people around them to teach them about their own cultural unique experiences of life after death, you can just literally watch this movie and certain things will make sense if you're open to it anyway. I don't want to oversell the movie, but to me, I had a great time. There's certain things I already knew growing up. That's why I said I wish I'd seen this when I was a lot younger. It answered a lot of questions that, again, even my son had asked me in the past. And yeah, I don't want to spoil that and give the answer, because I don't know how you guys' culture might differ when you watch the movie. But yeah, there's some parts I don't want to spoil. But let's begin with this clip. Let me not monologue for too long. I don't want to sit here for a good 10 minutes. As it's already 10 minutes. All right, then let's begin. Hopefully I can do my best to race through all the clips in time. So now this is the scene where our main character just passed away. Let's go.
You've just had quite a little journey, so for now, relax and enjoy the ride. Considering the transformation you've just been through, you really won't have any choice.
This is the scene I was like, wait, okay, there's a lot of old people here. The first time I watched it, I didn't notice the two black people. I didn't at all. I just saw just a bunch of Caucasian people. I was like, where's the African people? Where the black folk? Where the brown people? Where the melanated people at? Oh, by the way, you will hear me say melanated, brown, African, black, white, Caucasian a lot during this movie, because I'm still trying to train my brain to stop saying black and white. So bear with me on that. All right, let's proceed, shall we?
You really won't have any choice. Now, if we've done our work correctly, you should all be from the western half of the United States.
That part I was like, okay, cool. You should all be from the west. I'm like, okay, so this is not like the whole world. It's just the way it deals with particular quadrants. So then my brain was like, okay, so maybe that's why I'm not seeing a lot of brown people in this shot, even though I missed those two people in the first place. And I'm not seeing a lot of young people in this shot. So maybe different departments deal with different age groups. And then my brain thought, okay, maybe there's a different selection or a specific section for only melanated people, Chinese people, Japanese people, Brazilians, and so on and so forth. And I felt that kind of makes sense, right? But then again, there should be nothing wrong with everyone being in one space, because we're all one eventually, and we're all energy having our own human experience. But at the same time, just to keep things, because I say balanced and organized, it makes sense. Especially how she mentioned that there's a specific quadrant of US that they are from. So my brain was like, okay, well, if there's from a specific quadrant of US, then a particular part of Africa, Russia, and so on and so forth. That means there's specific sections in this realm that deals with specific groups of people and their states and their countries, and it just makes sense.
Even though this isn't the Earth, our surroundings should seem pleasing and very familiar to you.
That makes sense too. It makes sense that they would build it in a way to match the environment you just come from, you just died from.
Soon we will be dropping you off at your hotel. You will sleep the night And tomorrow when you wake, you'll feel wonderful and raring to go.
I like that part too, because it feels like it's a right now they're in between. I just died, and they're not too sure what's going on. Bit by bit, you're getting your senses back, but bit by bit, no rush. Especially, it's just the way it's done, man. You die, shock, fear, anger, hate, whatever emotions one might be feeling, even though they all look like they're neutral and numb. It's like you're given time to just let it settle, relax, and then you keep it pushing. It's like a reset or a continuation, but you let go of the baggage prior to the death.
You'll find many activities for your enjoyment here in Judgment City. For example, how many like to play golf?
I love this part. No one raised their
You
hands.
won't be able to get your hands up just yet, but good. We have 3 championship golf courses.
So my brain is not thinking, okay, if they got golf courses, they got basketball courts, tennis courts. That means you can just have fun. Just like it was on Earth, but without the hassle, without somebody being mean to you, without somebody being a douchebag to you, without somebody being an asshole to you. You're, I don't want to say human, but you're wherever you are here, and you can still enjoy those things whilst you're here. You guys have no idea how it's just, it has this refreshing feeling, like you're taking a break, but a beautiful, enjoyable break. And I don't know if the time references applies to everyone, although based on how the movie describes certain things, time references for everyone who's here is different. But at least within that time scale, even though they don't press on too much about time, but you're given a process. Within that process window, you're allowed to just be. No thought, no fear, no anger, just be.
So sit back and have fun. You're all going to be here for the next 5 days.
Oh,
and
there you go.
We want you to enjoy yourselves.
See, like this part now, there's just a little detail that Hollywood used to do. Old school Hollywood. You go and build these little trams. Even the song is so wholesome. There's the symbol I was talking about right there. It looks, I don't want to say what it is on this video because I know how the algorithm works with these people who have built this platform. But anyone who's familiar with that symbol originally as it is, not how a particular group of people turned it around. I didn't notice that the first watch. It's the second time I was editing these clips.
A few moments later.
Whilst I was editing these clips to show to you guys, and I noticed that symbol, like, dude, I thought I was an 8. You find this in many, many, many cultures that predate the douchebags who use that symbol the other way around. We proceed.
The rest of us will depart momentarily. Thank you.
And many cultures use that same symbol in different forms or different ways.
My name is Stan. Because of what you've just been through, you'll want to go directly to your room and go fast to sleep.
So if somebody got shot or got murdered or got killed or died in war, whatever, that a tram they were on is literally from that point of death to where they've come to their hotel or their resting space. And that whole sleep thing, it felt like the scene in Matrix where the Oracle told Neo to have a cookie and he'll be right as rain. It just reminded me of that scene where it's like you just sleep and everything you're thinking about or worried about. Why am I here? Where is this? What is this? How did I get here? They've arrived there without a full cosmic knowing of what's going on. And then as this dude just tells him, yeah, just sleep, and then the whole thing will begin. I love this scene.
You're already checked in. You have nothing to worry about tonight. Everything will be explained to you in the morning. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. Thank you.
And everyone is so pleasant. Everyone's always asking, are you okay? Approaching you. And then this is where they get
Mr. Miller?
Mr. Miller his room.
Hello?
So this is the scene now where he's already woken up from his sleep, and then reception is letting him know who is going to be helping him with his life review.
Miller,
Yes?
hold on for Bob Diamond, please.
Diamond here. How are you, my friend? Good sleep?
Yes.
So now obviously he's just
Listen,
getting his senses back, a little slow in reply. Prior to that scene, they all couldn't talk. So obviously waking up, he's getting his senses back.
gonna get up, get showered, you're gonna put on some of those nice clothes, you're gonna take a tram downtown, and you're gonna come see me this morning. You have any idea what's going on?
No?
Well, in a nutshell, you're here to defend your life, and I'm going to help you. In a few hours, you're going to be smarter than anyone you've ever met.
That part I was like, I wonder why he said that, but they pay off that line that line is mentioned for a reason, and they paid off eventually. Well, I feel they did anyway.
I've got some good news for you. It's not only the best food you'll ever have, but you can eat all you want.
That part finished me. Imagine, yo,
Thinking what?
As long as you're here, you can eat all you want. It won't affect you physically, and you won't gain weight.
As long as you're here, you can eat anything you want. My brain was like, all the jollof rice I would eat. Senegalese jollof rice, Ghanaian jollof rice, Nigerian jollof rice, any other African jollof rice on the planet. Oh my God, Mexican food. Every cultural meal on the planet, I will eat, chop, chop, and chop, and chop, and chop. And not get bloated? Nah, dude. My mind was like, yo, why can't it be like that here? It probably is in some way, shape, or form if you eat particular things you're supposed to eat. Especially when the lady earlier talked about the golf course. Imagine all the human experiences you can enjoy. I've always wondered, when we die, when we pass away from this realm to the next realm, it said you don't take riches, gold, and whatever, right? So what transitions with the collective in terms of what we'll be doing upstairs or wherever the dimension or realm is? Do you fly? Do you teleport? I assume there'll be no lethargicness or tiredness because you can eat anything you want. You wouldn't feel bloated. So that means there will be no discomfort or pain. So there'll be no limit to what one can do on the other dimension. It's like it's limitless, so free for all. So I've always wondered, so I love basketball, do we get basketball courts over there, or do people find particular places that they enjoyed whilst they were here? It wouldn't make sense for someone who loves basketball to end up in a space where there's only tennis court. That doesn't make sense. So I feel the way this movie distributes the pleasures of human experience, it makes sense that you'd have all those things that you enjoyed on Earth that weren't harmful to you. And then without the, what am I looking for? Without the side effects, basically. I imagine people liked wine or liked smoking, although I didn't notice anyone smoking cigars or cigarettes here. Again, that was my first watch. I imagine if I watch it the second time again, I probably notice one or two things. But I noticed there was no one doing drugs, anything to do with alcohol, excessive, nothing like that. Maybe one or two glasses of wine, but this movie didn't depict people overindulging in certain things. So I appreciate that as well.
So pig out, eat 30 hot cakes. I'll see you at 11.
I can eat all I want?
Eat everything. Damn! Take care.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, what's good here?
Everything we have is sensational.
Sensational.
The cheese on it.
Sensational.
I'll take it. And some orange juice.
I'll be right back.
Whoa. Wow. This wasn't made for somebody else, was it?
No, this was made just for you.
There's no issues with time. See, those are just little Easter, just little nuggets, little Easter eggs sprinkled. So it makes sense. You would ask, oh, is that someone else's plate you're just giving me? It's like, nah, I just made it for you. But it's like, well, you just walked behind there. How the hell did you make it in that space of time? I just love that, man.
That fast?
Fast and delicious. Eat all you want.
Oh, my.
A red tram is leaving right now that will get you into town by 11 o'clock. Just to make sure you're on time, I think you should leave now.
These are the best eggs I've ever had.
It makes sense.
Of course.
It makes that even, of course, why wouldn't it be? And he didn't take the plate with him. I'm like, dude, you are crazy. If that was jollof rice, think I would leave the plate there? You madman. I'm taking the plate with me on my tram. And let me find the next clip real quick. So just bear with me. Again, the song is so wholesome. It just grounds you as you're watching the movie. Even the set is built well. These days, Hollywood is just doing nonsense, man. And it depends on the movie, like I said, yes. I bet if it's an old period piece, they'll put effort into it. But they didn't need to build these trams.
Oh, no.
You see, because everyone's older.
Oh my God.
You feel okay now? I was like her too. I was thinking, how come everyone is so old here? And he's the only younger looking one out of everyone else. I was like, dude, there's something off here, man. So yeah, it was just the way some characters reacting to the environment. You're partaking with you're having the same experience or you're experiencing the experience with the characters rather than you feeling left out. The other characters who are as clueless as you are. So it makes the movie, it makes experiencing the movie more enjoyable. So now he's obviously sat meeting with Mr. What is his name? Bob Diamond. I had to cut out a few scenes, so that's why it's jumped from the tram to the scene. I didn't want to spoil certain parts, but this is the clip I saw on TikTok that instantly got me to search out this movie and say, yo, I need to watch this ASAP. So I even introduced this movie to Sister Constance, and there's a lady on Instagram I follow as well, and on YouTube. Her name is Kosmic Paradox. I tagged in the video saying, yo, I think you should check this out, and she replied saying she'd seen it already because I said it'd be cool for her to do a review of it. Metaphorical. I keep messing up that word. Metaphysical review for the movie because there's layers to it. There's layers. This is the scene. Anyway, you see what I mean.
So, is this what you thought it would be?
Thought what would be? Where am I? Is this heaven?
No, it isn't heaven.
Is it hell?
No, it isn't hell either. Actually, there is no hell. Although I hear Los Angeles is getting pretty close.
I find that interesting. he dismissed that hell doesn't exist, but he didn't dismiss heaven's existence either. He didn't say there's no heaven, it's just a state of being or state of mind. He was very precise with the hell thing, but not heaven. So I found that interesting as well.
Well, Daniel, let me tell you what's going on. When you're born into this universe, you're in it for a long, long time. You have many different lifetimes. And after each lifetime, there's an examining period, which you're in now.
Now, as someone who grew up in the religious background, both Islam and Christianity, you talk about reincarnation, you're seen as weird or strange. It's funny how certain groups of people, be it Caucasians or Japanese or Chinese or other people, are very self-aware about their culture or how certain things in life or in nature or in the universe work. And it makes sense that every group of people will have their own unique experiences in terms of life and death and spirituality, deities, their God, the supreme being, so on and beyond. It's sad that some of our people, not all of us, thankfully, but some of our people didn't have or don't have certain questions. I don't want to assume not everyone has these questions, but I remember growing up having these kind of discussions. I always looked at it as strange. Whereas when I watched this only yesterday, it just made sense. Even just the clip before yesterday, when I watched the clip the first time, it made sense. And prior to watching this clip, the way he's talking makes sense. And it's just so fluent and simple that Mr. Miller isn't even questioning, so reincarnation is real? Do we believe in reincarnation? I don't believe in reincarnation. I grew up in a religious household. There was no friction. And I like the way the scene was written that way, because it allows for the story to play out smooth without any back and forth. You can have intelligent back and forth, or you can have the character Miller raise questions and then have Bob answer the questions for we, the viewers, who might have the same questions as well. So obviously Miller will be playing us. We're experiencing the movie through Miller's eyes, and we too would have the same questions Miller might have. So yes, you can include scenes where Miller asked Bob, I thought reincarnation wasn't real. But the way Bob was just straightforward, direct, and he's giving him the information without treating him like he's stupid or assuming he's stupid or in a derogatory manner, or you're supposed to know this but you don't know this. It's just done smooth, soft, and kind. And I love that, because I remember till this day, you talk about reincarnation, that isn't real. And some people have this very fixed thing where it's like when they say reincarnation is like this, I'm like, no, reincarnation for some people may be a particular way. Reincarnation is like an umbrella. It doesn't make sense that this entity, this being has created so many intricate things, would say this is the one way things work. Now, there's some mistakes some people would input during their conversations and say, anyone who passes away from this life comes back as a snake, cat. I'm not saying those things aren't possible, but I feel it's wise that everyone understands those experiences from their cultural as best as they can. Not when someone is coming to your culture and wiped your archives away and superimpose their tradition over your people. I'm not talking about reading your cultural wisdom and knowledge from this current point. Those of us who are really interested in knowing ourselves, our origins, our people, our ancestral lineage, will do the work to make sure they find out information as best as possible. Despite going through different cultures, different tribes, different peoples, different families, you will find similarities in all the different stories told around the world about transitioning, reincarnation. So I don't feel it's wise that someone should go around the world telling people this is how reincarnation is only. It doesn't make sense. So I like the way Bob's character is just breaking it down. But let's continue. I don't want to rant on for too long.
You see, every second of every lifetime is always recorded.
Makes sense.
And as each one ends, we sort of look at it. Look at a few of the days, examine it. And then if everybody agrees, you move forward.
What do you mean move forward?
I mean move forward, continue onward. The point of this whole thing is to keep getting smarter, to keep growing.
Makes sense.
Use as much of your brain as possible.
Makes
For example,
sense.
I use 48% of my brain.
This is the part that got me.
47?
3.
I'm sorry?
3.
I use 3% of my brain?
Yes, don't worry about it. Everybody on Earth uses 3% of their brain. 3 to 5%.
I was finished. I was like, wait, what? Now I got to see this movie for sure.
That's why they're there.
3%? 3%?
When you use more than 5% of your brain, you don't want to be on Earth, believe me. Well, not that your takeout places aren't lovely, but there are many more exciting destinations for smarter people.
I wonder if the people who use 5% of their brain, like you said, don't want to be on Earth. I wonder if those are the empaths, those are the ones who are tired. I wonder if those are the ones who are super talented. Those are the ones who just see through the bullshit, see through the matrix, so to speak, see through the lies, the facade, who just live a particular way where your mind can't even fathom where their head's at. And I imagine those people are currently alive. I imagine they're still on Earth, or it's like they phase through in and out. They're the ones who don't even need to drink a particular elixir or drink a herb or smoke a herb to reach their state of nirvana. They can go there in and out without any external applications.
Now, being from Earth as you are and using as little of your brain as you do, your life has pretty much been devoted to dealing with fear.
It has?
Well, everybody on Earth deals with fear. That's what little brains do.
What are little brains?
That's what we call you folks behind your back.
I didn't get this part though. That dialogue, I was like, wait, so that means he's not human then. He's not a human being. He's transcendent. But anyway, you see what I mean. He said that's what we call you folks behind your back. It just felt like he was separating himself based on the dialogue from what Mr. Miller is. Anyway, you see what I mean.
Forgive me.
Who are you?
Well, I'm just like you. I was on Earth a long time ago.
See, so he was human before, but then why would you guys have a term to describe other humans when you were once in Mr. Miller's position? It was just weird thing. I just found like, I don't know if they needed to. I guess it's just there for humor, for comedy's sake. But I was like, well, if you're not like a fifth level dimension or you've never been human before, then that line would make sense. But if you were human before, despite being energy inside a human vessel, then you know what it feels like to be human. So that means you were also a little brain. So I was like, yeah, anyway, maybe just a little nitpick for me.
But I advanced. I moved forward. I got over my fears and I got smarter. Did you have friends whose stomachs hurt?
Every one of them.
It's fear. Fear is like a giant fog. It sits on your brain and blocks everything. Real feelings, true happiness, real joy. They can't get through that fog. But you lift it, and buddy, you're in for the ride of your life.
Look at the choice of words he even used.
Real feelings, true happiness, real joy.
Real feelings, true happiness, real joy. As if to say those are the experience, those are the feelings you're supposed to experience and live in and being and enjoy. You have some people who tell you Earth is part of the experience of becoming what Mr. Bob Miller is to get to this stage and grow. I could argue against that. I think and I feel certain things have changed and have veered off course to what this planet is supposed to be, is meant to be. And there are groups of people who are just causing disorder and disharmony consistently. If it's nature putting mankind through a particular thing for us to grow, that's different. But when you're willingly creating things that shouldn't be, especially when you're a new group on the planet compared to other people who have been here longer than you, who have learned what to do and not to do, and you could have easily learned from them as well. I'm of the cosmic law of you don't have to get burned or go through fire every time to know what fire feels like or to know what fire can do. You can observe fire singeing away at a thing. You can look at your grandmother's skin or grandfather's skin where they were burnt from hot oil or a flame and see what the aftermath of fire. You can just observe a thing and go, nah, I don't want to experience that. I can see someone put their hand in fire and go, I ain't trying that shit, because the way he jumped back, it did not look pleasant. And then the aftermath, it's the same day, 2 days, 4 days, a week. Oh, then your skin's not the same. That part where you got burnt is looking different. It's like the first time you come to Earth, you've had an experience. You don't have to repeat the same experience you repeated or you had the first lifetime. But anyway, let's proceed.
They can't get through that fog, but you lift it, and buddy, you're in for the ride of your life.
I'm surprised he didn't ask why is the fear there, or who put the fear there, or what puts the fear there, or is Earth only just designed to experience that whole breaking away or breaking out of your fear or overcoming your fear? Is that what Earth is, like a school where this school is just meant for you to go through a thing and overcome your fear? So is fear a universal thing? Because fear doesn't seem to be in this environment where Mr. Bob Diamond is.
God, my 3% is swimming.
Worst comes to worst, you'll go back to Earth and you'll try it again.
Have I been to Earth before?
Oh, yeah.
How many times?
Approaching 20.
Just the honesty. So it looks like they don't lie here either. He could have said you don't need to know that information because you're not prepared to know it yet, which is being truthful as well. But the way he was just direct with him. And imagine how many people would want to know this in their current life. There's some people who know it innately, without any external sources, no going to no priest or priestess, no elder, elders, no parent, no grandparent. They know it innately. There's some people who want to know this kind of information because it can help them be the better version of themselves in this current timeline. And I feel sometimes that can be useful. Of course, the flip side, not many people want to know how much they were douchebags in multiple lifetimes. Who the hell wants to know you were an asshole, rapist, a killer, murderer? And I'm not saying you have to go to the negative aspect of past lives before, but sometimes it's cool to keep a balanced mind saying, despite knowing I had multiple lifetimes. I can imagine I was a douchebag in some of them. I can't just imagine. It doesn't make sense for the balance of growth and understanding. Like I said, a people who have been here longer than any other people on the planet, you would have had to go through your ups and downs, your good or bad, your rights and wrongs to understand how to live on this planet, in this environment, in harmony with the environment. Almost everything we produce or recreate is from creation itself. If it's cement, mud huts, you're taking from nature. You're not just snapping your fingers and saying mud hut or stone house or, I don't know, wooden chair. You're taking from nature. So to understand that and to understand not to deplete, not to misuse that, not to overuse that and just assume, well, she just grows trees every day, so why not just cut down all the trees? No, you'd have had to go through that as a people. So it makes sense that if I'm a newborn being that doesn't resemble the same beings who are here, it makes sense that I would go to them and ask for assistance, or they would come to me and help me. I wouldn't then just multiply myself and say, you know what, they have things that we can make, but because we don't want to make them, let's just destroy them and enslave them and steal their culture and steal it's, yeah. Let me woosah on that one right now. It's like, yeah.
You see, the universe is like a big machine and you and I are parts. Now, they don't want a part to get through unless it's ready. So that's what we're here for, to make sure you're ready. Say, you hungry?
Starving. I didn't even eat. I had one bite and then I got on the tram.
Well, Mr. All You Can Eat, that's stuff. Come on. We have about 400,000 residents here. We service half of the United States dead. That's about 2,500 people a day.
I was thinking that means melanated people go to a different part of Judgment City, as it's called. Or, not that I want to see them here, but again, sometimes movies have a way of planting seeds in your mind if you're not careful. So either we're living very well and we're passing away to a specific location, or the person who made this movie didn't really see everyone. But let me go back a bit.
We service half of the United States dead. That's about 2,500 people a day.
2,500 people a day.
Do children come here?
Children don't have to defend themselves. When a child is taken, they automatically move forward. Isn't that nice?
What about teenagers?
Too much trouble, they go elsewhere. We tried for a while, but they damaged the toothless. What about your chicken? How you like it?
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Hope you would like this.
What is it? What does it taste like?
You're curious, aren't you? Good. I like that about you. You want to try?
Yeah.
If I was there with my jollof rice, I wouldn't be asking what you're eating. I'd be massacring my jollof rice with plantain, with some boiled yam. Oh, Jehovah. What? He said, what are you eating? Shut up and eat your chop, man.
Weird.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Mind your business.
A little like horse shit, huh?
I love this part.
Well, as you get smarter, you begin to manipulate your senses. This tastes much different to me than it does to you.
Come on, man. Who writes these dialogue? This is beautiful dialogue. Just crisp dialogue. Crisp, man. Crisp. You begin to manipulate your taste buds. That means you're not even on regular plane no more. You already said it 40-something%. I forgot how much already. But that means you're something else now, man. You're not even regular no more. Maybe that's why he said that they have the little brain names behind their back. But even I was still cut by that. I'm like, man, you were human before. Why are you now making nicknames for what you were before? I guess it's just a fun thing to do when you become what you are. And I assume everyone else on his level of intellect and growth spiritually would have a different plate as well. Although there were other characters they featured in the movie, and I forgot to pay attention to what they were eating if it was the same texture as his. It makes sense if everyone else in his frequency eats the same food or meal he eats. But it also makes sense if they all have different textures as well, or different meals despite their frequency. He's 40-something, they might be 50-something, 60-something, 70-something, and they eat different, or some of them may not even eat anymore. And I find that also interesting. For however long the people who are here who have passed away are staying here, they still get to have the human experience. They still get to enjoy that human food, sleep, laughter, the happiness, all the, I don't want to say positive emotions, but I guess what else can I say? All the positive emotions. There's nothing else I can say. All the emotions Mr. Bob mentioned that some human beings struggle to experience fully. They might experience glimpses of it, hence the whole overcome your fear. So I do love that the undertone as well that's baked into this movie, besides the grand scheme of there's more to life than you think there is, but even within that, it's still grounded and say there's something going on Earth and you guys are experiencing, and it's this fear thing. This is a movie made how many years ago, and it still relates to the current time period we're in. especially for someone like me personally. Oh, just turning on this camera in the first place, or even thinking, let me do YouTube. The first time I turned on my mic or a microphone to record my voice, the first time I would raise a point about religion. Don't you find it strange that people are afraid of black cats, and what kind of God makes all the different colored cats, ginger cat, white cat, all the different kind of colored cats on the planet? There's nowhere in any religious text that I know of yet, or in any traditional culture, where it states that God specifically made black cats for witches and no one else. That when you see a black cat, that's a witch, or that's bad juju, or that's evil, or that's an omen. It's just, it's so strange. And it's sad that no one wants to take time to delve into these things. So movies like these, I appreciate them because they express these things where you can either catch on or not. This is not something that's beating you over your head. Learn this or you fail, or you die, or blah, blah, blah. Even the way Bob was telling him, there's a process you go through. People have been on Earth 15 times, 25 times. He just told Mr. Miller that he's approaching 20. So that information right there from Mr. Miller, you could easily take it on board or not. You can shut down or keep it pushing, or you can even digest. Let me just chill, give me a day or so. But again, you're not pressed for time, but you're just told this is the process we're going through. And I assume after this experience, you can either transcend or not. You find out when you watch the movie. It's an interesting movie, especially now with all the nonsense going on in the world. Despite all the nonsense going on in the world, there are also beautiful things going on in the world. There were times where I've sit down and say, all this noise that's going on, it's funny how one part of the world or multiple parts of the world, people are suffering. In another part of the world, somebody or a group of people are on digital screens right now, sketching away a new car that this lady on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram reviews. Somebody is sketching a car, and if they sketched it, they put in different color schemes on it, and then they're taking the schematics to somebody else or a group of people, and those guys looked at the schematics saying, okay, cool, we can make it, and they produce the car. This car moves like Mystique's skin from X-Men. This car lights up when you breathe on it. This car only opens up when you whistle. This car only opens up when you touch the hood. There's no handles to open the door anymore. The doors just open. What I'm trying to say is, despite all the suffering and repeated disorder that is systematic, and it feels like it's deliberate, on the other side of the world, wherever this part of the world is, somebody is sketching a car with a smile on their face. They're in deep glee and pleasure. They're happy. They're experiencing the joy and emotions that Bob was talking about earlier on, whilst they're sketching away and just watching other people build it. I miss the good old days where we made things for everyone, not selfishness, not out of wickedness, not out of I'm going to come to your land and take from you. We made things for everyone because it was something that we did to progress. And when we didn't need to make things, we chilled. We didn't make just for the sake of making. I don't know where all that nonsense has come from. Just like with the whole, I don't really want to speak on it, but the whole Congo thing. Congo as it is now, if it was unbothered, untethered from wicked people, undisturbed, I imagine it would be its own Wakanda. I'm not saying Wakanda is like a new theme to me. Places like that already existed, and I imagine they exist now in some little pockets of the world. They existed way before that concept was put onto paper by the person or persons involved in the creation of Wakanda on comics, before it even hit the screen with them Chadwick Boseman playing Black Panther. Way before all that time, that idea of a balanced technological society already existed multiple times over. Imagine what Congo would be, unbothered, undisturbed, uninterrupted. I do not know about that nation very much. The more I keep hearing, everything that we use, from the camera to the phone to most tech, or a lot of tech, is from there. Undisturbed, unbothered. Imagine, eventually, that, anyway, we'll leave it alone there. That might feel like a downer to some people because not everyone wants to hear that or discuss that, and that's cool. I'm not here to tell people what they should discuss or not discuss.
A few moments later.
Oh! This is what smart people eat?
So talk to me, Daniel. Tell me about your life. You feel you had any problems?
Well, sure, I had some problems. Everybody has problems, don't they?
Everybody on Earth. Yeah. Did you give a lot to charity? Well, I gotta go. I'm late.
Where do you go now?
I like that part. I deliberately cut that part out for a reason, and I look forward to you guys enjoying the whole movie and then letting the brother know what parts of the movie you liked and didn't like, what parts stood out to you or called out to you.
Did you give a lot to charity? Well, I gotta go. I'm late.
Because imagine the time period that came out, if that was a prevalent thing people would ask, or I imagine if that was a thing that was pushed on the masses, where giving to charity is a kind thing to do. It gets you closer to God and closer to heaven. And again, even though this isn't supposed to be a Christian location in the other dimension, it looks like a very neutral space. And there was no mention of Islam or Christianity. So they were smart enough not to do that, or Buddhism or any other spiritual practice or religious practice. So they were very wise not to include that. But I do wonder why they included that line of the charity thing. So I deliberately cut that part out so you guys can experience it for yourselves, because there was a nice little gem they dropped that I appreciated very, very much, which connects to the whole fear thing, and fear of not becoming what you are, or even learning what you are, knowing what you truly are. And I feel that is simultaneous with the overcoming fear, because the more you know who and what you are, why you're here, especially the whole, you've been here multiple times, why you're here, it allows to overcome that fear. But eventually, as you're learning it will become a 0 point thing when you're brave enough to just be. And your being, your true being, cosmically, should not, will not cause disorder, disharmony to self, to nature, and to others. Here's the kicker. Your true being and becoming may or will cause disorder, disharmony to others who are deliberately causing disorder and disharmony. Put it this way. When you become your true version of yourself that you are here and meant to be in alignment with divine law and order, you are practically poison and hell, quote unquote, for parasitic people, beings, and entities, whether physical, non-physical, and beyond. If this world, this universe, wasn't made with love in mind, I don't feel we'll be here. Primarily, creation is love. They both go hand in hand. The creator is love as creation is love. To create is love. It doesn't mean not to create isn't love. To create is love. Creation is love. So everything as is, to breathe air is love. The fact that we function the way we function isn't just out of, I've just created these beings, you can kiss my ass, I'm just going to go to Pluto and Mars and do whatever I want to do as a creatress and creator or whatever. No, to love, to laugh, to enjoy the main primary emotions we feel above the lower ones, or the not so enjoyable ones. They all seem to revolve around love. The multiple fruits we have. Before we were created, the creator didn't have to have multiple fruits. We could have been designed to just eat one fruit only. We'll be none the wiser. So the fact that we have multiple fruits to enjoy, no matter how many reincarnations you have, so it's something I used to think of a lot, way before I even left religion. So I've not heard of any ancestor from a Chinese group, Japanese group, African group who has been on this planet multiple lifetimes and has tasted every fruit on the planet. I don't know how time works between here and the other realm. You pass away, you come back. By the time the earth is shifted, whatever cycle you choose to come back, and because time is relative, so when people pass away now, they're probably going back in time to a different, to the past to live there. That's a whole other topic entirely. So the apple they used to eat when they were incarnated the first time in Africa would taste very different when they eat it in China. And even if they reincarnate in Africa again, the exact same country or city or nation or village or state they were born in Africa, the apple they used to eat when they were there the first time and they remember their previous lifetime will not taste the same. It makes sense that kind of system exists for you to enjoy the experience again. It makes sense. It makes sense. You would enjoy that experience again. You didn't mind apples then, but you love apples now, especially because you started enjoying apples in your previous lifetime. You're looking forward to enjoying it again, and it tastes different. If it tastes sweeter, the texture is different. You're like, dude, I missed this experience, and it's a new experience this time. I thought it was going to be the same experience. I want to be bored, or I thought I was going to be bored. Chicken would have tasted differently. Everything would have to taste differently, and the earth is never standing still. It's always rotating, always transforming, and then different celestial energies. Your Pluto, your Neptune, your Saturn, your cosmic rays from the sun, your solar flares. Then you got other planets, Sirius 1, Sirius A, Sirius B, other planets that we don't even know about yet that are far, far away, but still have massive impacts. And you've got deities. Oh, dude, what? Nah. So this is why I love movies like these. This is why I love talking about movies like these. And this is something I've always wanted to do on this channel, but I was always hesitant. Again, the fear thing as well. People like funny stuff, happy stuff. They love to laugh. Oh, I love when you make videos about movies you didn't like, Kosmic. I love your rant videos. But I love to talk about big things like this because this is what we are. I don't like to shy away from things like this. So however long this video ends up being, this is the beginning of multiple videos like this. And I'm looking forward to drawing more people who are on the same wavelength as I am. The hell was that? Wavelength as I am, or higher. I'm not worried about somebody being more advanced than I am, or having 5% of their brain or 43% of their brain. Yeah, let them bring them come, because we're here to grow and overcome this fear. And that's what I feel I'm currently going through as well. It's even in some of my Instagram posts, becoming my true self. The becoming is what I'm experiencing right now. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful to you all who watch my videos, to you all who have stayed this long in this video. And I do hope, I guess I say I use that word hope, and I'm not really a fan of it all the time, but I hope you do check out this movie and let me know how you feel about it. It's a beautiful movie. I wonder how Cosmic Paradox is going to do her review of this movie. It's beautiful, beautiful. And I've definitely chosen to leave out certain points of the film for sure, so you guys can enjoy, because it's a ride, man. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a ride, but there's some parts where the past life pavilion, where you check out your past lives, and even that part alone deserves its own separate video and discussion, which I will do. That part alone, I was like, yo, y'all mess around too much, man. Y'all over answered some questions, but yeah.
You wouldn't understand. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it literally. Get out tonight. Have some fun. Say, you know what you might try? Get over the past lives pavilion.
What is that?
Okay, I'm hearing two things. Get over is get there, but the get over the past lives felt like two things to me. Get over there as in physically get there and go and experience it. Get over is sometimes some of us who do reincarnate with past life burdens and issues that others won't fathom or grasp, but most of us, or those of us who know, we've come back with it and we're like, God damn, I came back with that nonsense. And there's like, get over your past life. It just felt like a double-edged, double message, not double-edged.
Get over the past lives pavilion. It's where you see some of the people you've been before.
What?
Yeah.
You see yourself in other lives?
Ah, most people love it, but some it makes nauseous.
Makes sense too.
Don't worry about it. All right, take care. Listen, you like that chicken? You want to take it with you? They love putting things in bags.
He didn't even eat his food. Eat your jollof right. This guy, man.
Around here. If you need to talk to me at any time, just call me up. I never sleep.
Never?
There we go. We're done. I'm still in love with this tram thing. This is what the certain thing that I appreciate in Hollywood. When you're telling the story, you take time to build little objects that add to the story. Again, like I said, it depends on the period piece, or if it's a period piece of a movie, the time period of a movie. Hollywood will put money into it, but this isn't a Western. This isn't a particular time period where cars look different. This isn't Total Recall, even though, I mean, the idea pitched to the studio about Total Recall must have been exciting. So they put money into believable technology that you do FaceTime, and human beings that have transcended past traveling around the world, that have gone into space and migrated to Mars. So I guess when you hear the pitch, it makes sense you put the funds towards the things to build in the world to make the world believable. But this isn't Total Recall. This isn't The Matrix. This isn't Last Action Hero. This isn't what else was made? What other movies did they really put effort into? I can't. Nothing comes to mind now in the old school days. Rambo, that's a war movie. RoboCop. This isn't a cop turned robot, half man, half machine. This isn't Terminator. This is a movie discussing what happens to a particular character and other characters, I assume, life after death. And just this little detail, the hotel, the fupa, is it fupa or tupa? And then the tram, it just adds to the world and story you're giving to your characters. That attention to detail, to me, I appreciate it and I enjoy it. And I feel in some cases, if not more than most today, Hollywood has deviated from that. And it's just cheap thrill of throw something on the screen whilst they get the money back. You're not even telling stories anymore. You're just talking, and when we watch the stories, that doesn't make sense. The character shouldn't have done this, bad guy shouldn't have done this, good guy shouldn't have done this. If you remove that thing from the good guy, movie doesn't exist. You move that bad guy from the scene. So this I appreciate, because it's talking about grand things in a simplistic way, even though it's dealing with it in a very sophisticated manner. But it doesn't make you feel stupid. It doesn't make the viewer feel stupid. It involves the viewer, welcomes the viewer, and takes the viewer along this journey, bit by bit, in a slow, manageable, natural pace, and nothing wrong with that as well. You don't have to rush everything. Not everything should be rushed. If your brain receives things differently, it's not a bad or good thing. That's just how you receive it. But for the general masses, I assume just watching this is just it will give you a peaceful, peaceful. That's not what I'm looking for. Satisfying experience. There you go. Not peaceful. Satisfying experience. Anyway, like I said before, I hope you've enjoyed me breaking down this movie. And like I said, that I want to go forward with doing certain scenes or clip breakdowns for certain movies I'm drawn to, whether it be a metaphysical breakdown or just action scenes or dialogue or the play on words when one character's on screen and you think, oh, the good guy's talking to the bad guy, but it's the reverse.
I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species.
Stuff like that. I enjoy doing those things because when I watch movies, I'm not only watching and listening. The thing is, I feel it's like like the Matrix. For me, the way I experience movies, I'm not only watching what's on screen. There's other things and layers behind it. It's easy to say layers and blah, 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 but not everyone experiences like that. So I don't want to just say, I experience layers. Of course, it's layers to it. No, sometimes I'm spoken to directly as if this thing is talking to me.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
And I assume that other people feel the same way. It's how I feel when I watch the movies. Music, cartoon, anything I ingest when it comes to information, sound, audiobooks. Sometimes there's some messages I'm like, yo, I wonder if everyone else is seeing the same thing. Hence, I'm like, you know what? Instead of assuming everyone else is getting the same message, I'll just put it out there. Whoever watches the video and enjoys it, cool. Whoever doesn't, again, cool. We give thanks as long as I'm well in my feeling of releasing that message, I guess I could say message. Anyway, I'm done waffling on. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and your attention. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Cause I don't really like that whole subscribe and click the notification. Even though I'm saying it right now, it's like, don't you dare finish it, man. Don't you dare. Don't complete that statement. And I assume everyone else who goes on YouTube knows what to do. If you feel like doing it, cool. If not, cool. I have been your one and only host, talking about this beautiful movie called Defending Your Life, starring Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep, and Rip Torn. I have been your one and only host, the Kosmic Jedi, signing out.
What?
Let's do that again, shall we? I have been your one and only host,
the Kosmic Jedi,
signing out. Thank you for watching. I wonder how long this video is. Blood clot, 1 hour.